we were approaching this right turn, and I said take the next road on your right. As you approach, you've not really got yourself in a good position. You're kind of in between both lanes, this one and this one, and you do this quite a lot. You're not decisive enough. So when you know where you're going, be decisive and get into the correct position so that other drivers then will know what you plan to do. Okay, now this junction is quite simple. Cars going ahead will go this way, and the right turn is that way. And cars coming, the oncoming cars are those cars coming ahead, that van coming ahead. So when you turn right, you're going to give way, as it says to give way there. And you only need to give way to cars coming from your left, from this side. Nothing will come from that side, because going ahead is that way. So what you done was you got to the give way marking, and then here you kind of hesitated. There's nothing coming from your left that way. You look to your right and you've seen some cars there, but they're not going to come. So you kind of hesitated there. So make sure you keep going and understand which way cars can come from. We were approaching this road, and I said take the next road on your right. So the next road on the right is over there, the lights. So when the road opens up here, get into the right hand lane from as early as possible, because you can use this part of the curb there as cover, so no one else from behind you can go in before you. So just move into that part as soon as possible, then you can go in safely without having to worry about the car behind. I think you kind of missed that, and then by the time you came to the light, you didn't get to the correct position, and then we couldn't take the turn. At this give way junction, we turned left. Now, the mistake you make quite often is you steer too much. So as you came out, you turned and you've kind of gone over the curb because you've just turned too much. Okay, so you've oversteered. So just something you want to try and eyeball the curb and try and get an understanding of how much to steer. Okay, so we'll keep practicing that. We came to this roundabout, and you said you was kind of confused. So this is the roundabout sign, and I said we're going to take the first road on your left. So the first road on the left at the roundabout will not be this road. It will be definitely past the sign. So you've got to get past the sign and then look for the roundabout, and it's going to be the first exit on the left. So we've passed the sign now, so now it's going to be the next road on your left. That's it, so it's going to be here. The next road on your left is that way, and that's the first exit at the roundabout. And we were coming off this dual carriageway by the next road on your left, and there's a slip road here. So the curb just opens up here. So you should go into it as early as possible. That way you have a lot of room to use that slip road to reduce your speed. But you kind of didn't go in straight away. You kind of, now you're still kind of half in and half in double lane. And then you've got very little time now to reduce your speed. So get in there more earlier. We were approaching a mini roundabout here, and this one is quite tricky. There's another lane on your left. So approaching the mini roundabout, so the roundabout sign is there. So the roundabout will be just underneath it. So there's the lane you're in, and there's another lane on your left here. So what I kind of advise you is, when you're going across the center circle, try not to go around so much. Try not to go around the circle so much that you're going to end up in that lane. Because when you're going ahead in this lane, you could have another vehicle parallel to you, side by side, going ahead at the same time. So be aware of what's beside you and continue ahead. Part of your car will go over that center circle, which is quite normal for these tight roundabouts. This is another mini roundabout, which is quite tight because of the two lanes. So when you turn right, you're going to use this lane. And then when you go around the center circle, you ain't got much room to go around the left of it because of this lane. So you're just going to kind of go straight over this, straight ahead, just to the left of the circle, and then turn right. Now you did kind of hesitate here when you came, because you see the road on your right is clear, and when you got there, you've kind of just waited around here when you should be carrying on, because there is no car coming from your right there. I think you've kind of maybe thought that you have to give way to these cars, but just remember it's a roundabout and you only give way to your right. Then we got to the end of this road and the sat nav said turn left, then keep right. So it wants you to keep right so that it can get you into the correct position for the right turn that it's going to ask you to make later. So as you get to the front, we need a big gap from the right. Now the camera doesn't show to the right here, so just imagine we need a big gap to the right, and then when nothing's coming, you're going to come out and then come out to the right hand lane, directly to the right hand lane, as the sat nav told you to keep right. So keeping right, and then it will tell you when to turn right. And it doesn't say to turn right here, it tells you to turn right after about another 2 roads on your right, then it says to turn right. And then we came to this roundabout and the sat nav said turn right, 4th exit. So you're going to give your right signal, you're going to go into the roundabout when it's safe, and then just count the exits down. So this is one exit, this road here, and this road is joining in from the first exit. Then you got the second exit and the van is joining in from the second exit. And then you got the third exit there, and that silver car is joining in from the third exit. Now you're going to check your left mirror for any cars that might be trying to go past you on the left side. Give a left signal and just turn left. And that's the 4th exit and we're off the roundabout. Then we came to this roundabout and we turned right, 2nd exit. The sign is A12 M25 Goodmays. So because it's on your right, you're going to give a right signal. And then when you leave the roundabout by the 2nd exit, you're going to check your left mirror, give a left signal. So there's only one lane approaching the roundabout. So when you go into the roundabout, you've got a bit of freedom to with your position. You can take up a space in the middle of the roundabout. And then check your left mirror, because you've gone past the first exit, give a left signal, and then you're going to leave. Now the left signal is very important here, because how is this black driver meant to know that he can come into the roundabout unless you tell him that you're going to leave the roundabout? So your left signal there, you didn't give it, you must give it. Let these guys know that they can pull in to the roundabout because you're leaving the roundabout. So it's not about knowing where you're going, it's about telling people where you're going. Then we approached this mini roundabout and I said you're going to take the 2nd exit. Now the 2nd exit, it is ahead, so it is that way, but when you approach the roundabout, this bend of the curb is going to put you in a position where you're kind of facing that lamppost there. And now nobody else will know that you want to go that way unless you give a right signal to take the 2nd exit. So when you come here and you're in this position here, now look, you're facing that fence. You're no longer facing the road ahead. Now you need to give a right signal to tell everyone that you're going right. Okay, so a right signal must be given here, otherwise nobody will know whether you're going to go left or whether you're going to go right, which was your ahead from before. And then we were just driving normally towards this traffic light. And what lane do you need to be in? Normal driving position is left lane. And left lane is behind this van. And I think you were just going into the right hand lane, which would force you to take a right turn further on. So here I just kind of warned you to go ahead. So we need to use the left lane. Okay, so now the left lane becomes the middle lane. That's the right hand lane, and this is a slip road to turn left that way. So remember, keeping your normal driving position, which is using the left lane to go ahead. Okay, and then we were going through this road. Now what you'll notice about this road is there's a lot of shops, so there'll be a lot of people walking and crossing the road. So you were kind of picking up speed, so you were making progress. You were going from like 20 to 25, 30 miles an hour. Now it's quite dangerous to do that because you don't know when somebody's going to cross the road suddenly, and then somebody did. So as you approached here, suddenly we had to brake because of that guy there. So a road like this, if you can't see the pavements, like you can't see behind that black color car, you don't know who's going to start walking out. So you got to be more aware on these roads because of the shops, because of the extra amount of people on these roads. So we have to do a sudden brake there. I should rewind it again. Okay, so you can see a zebra crossing there, so we know there's a chance of somebody walking out, and then we have to do a hard brake. At this junction, I said that we're going to follow the sign for Central London. So Central London is a right turn. So we take up a position in the right as soon as the lane opens up. I'm just going to forward it a little bit here. Okay, so when the light went green, we went forward, and then I think you were a bit confused here, and you tried to go ahead. You tried to go that way. So Central London is, you see that right arrow? It's the next right turn, like the car in front of us turned before. And then we had a bit of a muddle up there, and then we managed to make the turn eventually. So I should rewind that again for you. So the van is ahead of us, it's turning right, like we're meant to do to follow for Central London. And then I think you got muddled up thinking you need to go straight.